everybody, Karen here. So excited to just be with you over these next couple of days. Brittany and I are just excited to share with you more about what the Beachbody business looks like, what coaching looks like. And so before we dig into all of that tomorrow night when we hop on live together to give you all the details, no questions off the table. We are we are super transparent. We're never here to hide anything from you. So before that, we're just both going to hop on at some point today and just share a little bit about our story. I don't want this to be too terribly long. Most of you know who we are, but if you don't, my name is Karen. I live in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I have my first ever 9-month-old. My husband is a resident doctor. Life is super crazy busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being a mom. And what I can tell you is I have been a part of the Beachbody Network without being a specific coach for nearly 5 years. I became a coach 2 years ago in like a day. But I fell in love with Beachbody programs 5 years ago. So the quick snippet, the quick short story of it is I was always a gym rat. I spent over an hour and a half in the gym every single day. I've battled eating disorders because I could not love myself nor accept my body. So no matter how much success I saw, it was never enough for me. And so I ended up going down a really dark path with fitness. I think I had pure intentions to start, but I just didn't have the right accountability, the right support. I was a calorie counter and a slave to it for 6 years. I'm talking my FitnessPal app, on it all the time, tracking and logging in foods for weeks in advance. It was not a healthy situation. And so basically, by God's grace, I started to really surrender my life to the Lord and give him the pen to my health chapter. And I was just like, you need to write my health chapter. I'm destroying it. I'm a hot mess. Pride, I'm finally pushing pride aside 6 years later, and I'm just asking for your support. And so once that started happening, it was a long journey of just God giving me a new pair of eyes, teaching me to love myself, because until you love yourself, you really can't simultaneously work out and make it a way that enhances your life. It's just going to keep hindering your life and hurting you in a lot of different ways, or it feels like punishment and a chore. And so then the door opened up to be a certified personal trainer. And at first I was like, what? Because that's the door that would devour me, right? But pretty quickly I realized that this passion for fitness was really something very special that I had. And I really wanted to help other people figure it out with me. But the only issue with the personal trainer door is that it was very limited geographically, and it was really expensive. 2 sessions with a personal trainer can be up to $200 depending on where you are. And that was just not how I wanted to do things. That seemed to create more barriers to people. And then I remember when my husband and I lived in Maine, he was starting medical school, and he was like, Karen, I need you to find me a home workout program. And I was like, baby, those don't work. Again, the gym person, I'm teaching boot camp classes, all of that. And he's like, I don't have another option. I think home program is going to be the best for me. My schedule's busy. I don't have time to get to a gym. I don't want to try to make up a workout. And so I started to do some research, and I was familiar with what Beachbody was. And so I picked the program that was the nuttiest one out there, which is Insanity. And I told my husband, listen, I'm going to be a great wife. I'm going to love you and do this with you. Let's go. 60 days. I'm going to see if this whole thing is actually legit. So for 60 days, we did Insanity together in the garage in the summer. It was hot, it was sweaty, it was crazy. And the results I found, not even just physical results, there were crazy physical results, guys. My endurance was up, my strength was up. I was getting muscle without lifting weights, which blew my mind because I never knew that was a possibility. But beyond that, what I learned was you can work out in half the time and get more results. This is the girl who's working out 2 hours a day. Most of our workouts within the Beachbody Network are 20 to 30 to 45 minutes. And I was eating a lot of food. It was completely revolutionizing and changing the way I saw everything. The containers, it was teaching me how to count colors, not calories, and how to focus on what my food actually was. So anyway, all that to say, we had the best experience with both Shakeology and Insanity. And I was the biggest skeptic with Shakeology. I'm an Egyptian. Arabs are super bargain hunters. We don't believe anything works. It took my parents a year to try Shakeology after I became a coach, just to show you. But I dug into it. I did a ton of research because in addition to workouts, my husband needed a breakfast that could keep him full, because in the hospital, you don't know when you're going to have lunch. And so cereal wasn't cutting it. So I was like, I don't know what the Shakeology thing is, but I'm going to do some research into it and see if it's worth the investment. Because we all know it's definitely not cheap. But if it's not cheap, then it better be high quality. That's how I was kind of looking at it. So did a bunch of research. I loved what I saw, and I was like, you know what? I need to see it to believe it. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we tried it. We both went all in with it, and we were like, we get our money back, so it's fine. And obviously, here we are, 3.5 years later or so, and never stopped getting it. We have been through low financial seasons, high financial seasons, but it's always been a non-negotiable. Shakeology's always, it was actually my prenatal when I was pregnant, which is pretty crazy, that my OB was like, yeah, it's food, go ahead. So that's kind of how I started with Beachbody. And let me tell you, I wanted to be a coach from day 3. I was like, whoa, this is amazing, because I knew that all a coach was just somebody who can motivate, encourage other people to do it with them. Like, you're running the race yourself, like trying to get fit and healthy, and it's literally like inviting people to run the race with you. That's what I knew that was coaching was. Like, that was the super simple understanding I had. But God was like, not yet, not yet, not yet. And that not yet happened for about 2 to 3 years. It was a not yet. Long time. And I didn't understand why. I sure did try and almost do it like myself many times, but it was my husband that actually was like, Karen, just wait. Like, there's got to be a reason he has you waiting, because I never had peace when I was going to sign up all the other times. And then I met my girl, Meyers. Meyers, if you don't follow her on Facebook or Instagram, she's an amazing woman of the Lord, man. Like, she just loves her family, loves Jesus, and loves fitness. Like, the 3 things that I love the most. I was following her for an entire year on Facebook. Never knew she was a Beachbody coach. Like, I just loved her devotionals. I loved her heart. I loved being inspired by her fitness posts. And then there was a day that she started talking about how she's looking for women to join Team Iron. And the way she did that post was beautiful. But I was like, Team Iron, like, what is that? Like, she has a clothing line, a scripture clothing line. I was like, oh, maybe it's something of that. So I just clicked the application to check it out, and I saw the words Beachbody. So I X'd out. At that point, it was 2 years of a no, right? So I was like, oh, no, like, it's Beachbody. There's no way that... No. So I came home, I told Grandma about it as like a funny story, and then my husband was like, you should talk to Meyers. And I was like, my husband's like a redhead, blue eyes, white skin, he doesn't talk a whole lot, and so when he talks, I listen. And I was like, okay. So I got on the phone with Michelle. An hour and a half later, that was the clearest green light of my life. Like, here's what it came down to for me. For me, I realized that I was not going to be like any other coach. I really wanted to do this business God's way. I really wanted to bring faith and fitness together. I did not want to create idols for people. I don't want people to focus on the scale. That was not going to be my vision as a coach. And if I wanted to do Beachbody coaching God's way, I had to follow somebody who was doing it God's way, because we look like our leaders. We imitate who we follow. And that was the lesson that God was trying to teach me, but I just didn't understand it in the entire season of waiting until in hindsight. And in that moment, guys, like, man, like, let me tell you, coaching, whatever MLM you choose, I'm going to be super real right now with you guys, because I'm not the kind of person who thinks Beachbody coaching is for everybody. I don't. I think that you have to have a passion for it. And so whenever you have to choose an MLM, because there are amazing MLMs out there. There's skincare MLMs, lipstick M&Ms, not M&Ms, MLMs. And so the way that I knew I was going to pick an MLM for me, because I love the idea of being my own boss. I love the idea of flexing my own hours. I love the idea of being a stay-at-home / working at home mom. But I wanted to pick something that was going to get me fired up, something that didn't feel like a job, something that, I was going to use all of the stuff that's a part of it, even if I wasn't a coach. And that's why I knew for me, Beachbody coaching was going to be it. Because number one, I'm not just giving somebody leggings. No problem with people who do that, by the way. I have no issues with that. But for me, I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to change lives. I wanted to help people change their lives from the inside out. I wanted a lasting change, And so leggings don't necessarily change lives. So I was like, for me as Karen, I needed something that was going to go deeper. And so this business brought that. I was going to use Shakeology and all the programs no matter what. And so the idea of coaching was just like a no-brainer. I just had to find the right leader to do it with. And so that's how I started. And here I am 2 years in. I just get more and more excited about it. I get more and more excited about getting messages from people that are excited about where their wellness journey is. Non-scale victories, scale victories, women who have been so scared to have sex with their husbands because they're not confident, and now they're finding confidence. Like, these messages every day get me fueled. They get me fired up. They get me excited. Are there days I don't have as much passion? Yeah, man, like, I'm human. But most of the time, 90% of the time, I'm always super passionate about what I do, and it's just amazing to be able to do life with people. It's a people business. That's what you're going to find out. It's a people business. It's not a fitness business. If you're here, you've probably been in our challenge groups. You see that we pour into people. And Brittany and I specifically, we are both like faith-based coaches. We are very different in how we do things. We love doing spiritual and personal development in our group. We like to take our ladies on a journey with us. It goes way beyond just a physical transformation. So that's a little bit about how I ended up here. I'm still here. I have no plans to go anywhere because this opportunity is just, I don't know, incomparable in my opinion. That's pretty incredible. So that's a little bit about me. Brittany will come on later, and then tomorrow we'll do the live video together. But guys, there's a post before this one where you say introduce yourselves. Please introduce yourselves and ask questions, because we're going to give you like all the entire spiel, but it's really helpful when you give us specific questions that you want us to hit on. That way, nothing kind of is left unanswered. All right, happy Saturday.